I creamed my crack one day, ba-rum-bum-bum-bum. Guys, it's UFC 323. It's the last UFC pay-per-view, not only for the year, but for the rest of eternity. Unless you're in Canada. There she be, rock and roll, nasty. Hey, it's too quiet, guys. It's too quiet. You gotta turn it up. Turn up the music. Turn it up, for fuck's sakes. There it is. Little fuck up to start off the pod, but that's okay. Welcome to the DynamiteGizmo Podcast, everyone. Episode 278. Episode 278. I can't believe this. This is the UFC Countdown edition of the DynamiteGizmo Podcast. That means we're talking all things and everything UFC 323 related. Whether it's news, whether it's fights to look out for, whether it's talking about the main and co-main event fighters, or anything in between. It's going to happen all here on episode 278, UFC Countdown edition of the DynamiteGizmo Podcast. Turn down the music, please. We don't need to listen to this music all day. Fade it out, buddy. Thank you. And then I'll turn it back up for next time because you know I'm going to forget. You know I'm going to forget. We have a few things to discuss in this episode. Just a few. We're going to be talking about Merab. We're going to be talking about Pantoja. We're going to be talking about Petr Yan. We're going to be talking about Joshua Van. We're going to sprinkle in some other little things. I might touch on Tom. I might touch Tom a little bit, but before we get into anything, you know how we have to start off these episodes, the same as always, and that is letting you know about my fight prediction sheet. This is it here. I create these sheets for every single UFC event, whether it's a main numbered event or a fight night. And by the way, before we get into the fight prediction sheet, I just need to say Paramount has started calling the UFC pay-per-views numbered events. And I shall just so have you know that I have always been calling them numbered events, even before that was a thing. So I feel like they stole it from me. I started it. But let's get back into the fight prediction sheet. Look at it here. I've updated it once again. I keep making changes because I didn't like the way it looked before. And now I'm hoping I like the way it looks now, at least for now. But as you can see, we've got the early prelims, the prelims, and the main card situated on this sheet. You've got every single fight in order. You see these big numbers here? They let you know which fight's happening at what time. Not the time, but in what the order. 1 all the way to 14. Let's zoom in to the co-main event, shall we? And see how it works. So before the fights start throughout the night, you go through each one of these slots here. Each one of these squares, and you check off the pick for the fighter you think is going to win. Now, if you don't know what you're looking at, you've got lots of things to base your decision off of just in the square here. You've got the rankings in the top right and left. You got their country of origin flags. You got pictures of the fighters. You got their nicknames. You got their Vegas betting odds. You've got their fight record. You've got their name. You've got the weight class. All right? Lots of shit here to go off of. So you check off pick for every single fighter you want to pick throughout the night. And as each fighter wins, you check off the winner column, okay? The winner checkbox. And then at the very, very end of the night, you tally up your score and you write it out of 14 down here. Sound easy enough, right? But there's more. Okay? On the top of each one of these squares here, it gives you a little bit of information about the fights that you might be seeing throughout the night. We've also got the location and the arena right here where it takes place. We've got the poster right here. And the newest addition that we have added to the fight prediction sheets is right here. Okay? Keep track of your parlays throughout the night. Write down your earnings for each. And you can check hit or miss. So if you've got multiple parlays that you want to keep track of, write down your predicted earnings in this slot. If your parlay hits, check off hit. If it missed, give it an X here. Bada boom, bada bing. A nice little fun addition here. And then at the very end of the night, once everything's all said and done, you can rate the card out of 5 stars and go through the expectation scale. Was it a flop? Did it miss? Did it meet your expectations? Did it go beyond your expectations? Or did it completely exceed all and every piece of expectation you ever had? Check off whichever box fits your needs. And then, of course, these squares here are just little note boxes if you want to write some notes about the fights throughout the night. Go ahead. I create these mostly for myself to help myself keep track of fights throughout the year so that when I want to go back and research stuff, or for my end of the year special, which is coming up in a couple weeks, I have everything listed and ready to go so I can look back and decide who's fighter of the year, who's knockout of the year, yada, yada, yada. Who was ranked what at this time. It's very useful for myself. It can be useful for you. You can use this sheet in whatever way you want to, whether it is just for yourself or if you want to invite friends over and have fun. Let everybody make bets or even just vote. Just have fun, no money involved, on who you think's going to win throughout the night. And whether or not you're a casual fan, this sheet makes it easy enough to figure out what you need to know and who to pick. But we'll get into my fight predictions at the very end of this episode. We're going to talk about some stuff that's going on in the wonderful world of UFC. And just so you guys know, we have this final pay-per-view happening this weekend. Okay? And then we have another fight night the following weekend. And then after that, we have 6 weeks. I repeat, 6 weeks of no UFC. I missed the mark on that one. I was supposed to press the button and I completely missed the mark. That's the second fuck up of the episode. That's the second fuck up of the episode. That's okay. But this weekend, we've got 2 title fights on the line. Amazing title fights. I should say. We've got the flyweight title in the co-main event, and we have the bantamweight title in the main event. The main event features Merab Dvalishvili, who is the current and reigning bantamweight champion, going up against the number 1 ranked contender, Joshua Van. And we're going to talk about that motherfucker a little later and how he's risen from nothing to something in a matter of only a couple years. And then in the co-main event, we have Alexandre Pantoja versus... Oh shit, I got my names mixed up. Merab's not going up against Joshua Van, you fucking idiot. Merab's going up against Petr Yan. I can't believe I fucked that shit up. That's the 3rd fuck up of the episode, dude. What's going on? What's going on? I need to throw in some goddamn sound bites, Moicano.
Moicano wants money. Peppa Pig. Chocolate Peppa Pig.
That's me.
Never ever believe yourself and give up. Never ever believe yourself and give up.
Is it okay, Joe Rogan?
I understand.
Okay. Merab Dvalishvili is in the main event, defending the bantamweight title against Petr Yan. Alexandre Pantoja is in the co-main event, defending the flyweight title against Joshua Van. That is the correct order of operations. Do not get it mixed up, okay? I'm lucky I'm not live on the ESPN air right now, because shit would be going sideways. Now, I don't know if you guys know, before we get into the main and co-main event, there was some shit that's been going on, okay? Good shit, not bad shit. So when it comes to the UFC, obviously they do drug testing for steroids and everything else. Okay? If you're signed as a fighter to the UFC, you have to be applied into the drug testing organization that they have set in place, where you randomly get drug tested multiple times a month, sometimes multiple times a week, at complete random moments. They will show up wherever you are, and they will bring a bucket for you to piss in, and they will test you. And if you happen to get 50 successful tests, clean tests in a row, the UFC offers you a beautiful jacket. A beautiful jacket. And there's only been a handful of UFC fighters who have actually received this jacket. And it just so happens that just today, both Petr Yan and Alexandre Pantoja received this jacket today. And I have video footage of it. There have only been 85 fighters since the release of these jackets that have ever received them. Now you might be thinking to yourself, does that mean 50? Does 50 successful clean tests mean that they've only fought that they've had to fight 50 times? No. Because like I said, you get tested multiple times throughout a week, throughout a month. And if you get 50 clean ones in a row, you get a beautiful jacket. And these boys did. Here's Petr.
It's our pleasure to present to Petr his 50-time perfect test history jacket. He's been part of the program for over 8 years now. That's 365 days times 8 years that he's been held responsible and accountable for where he's at.
Yeah, we get it, dude. He gets a jacket.
More for you today. Our last recipient of the day of the 50-time perfect test history jacket, Alexandre Pantoja.
Yeah. Okay, they both get a jacket. We get it. They both get a jacket. I get it. We get it. Okay. He goes on to say how grateful he is and how he's such a good example for not only children but for UFC fighters and other people who want to get into the sport, because Alexandre Pantoja is one of the only fighters who's one of the greatest of all time to receive the jacket. We all know John Jones couldn't do it. What an idiot. So Pantoja can be clean and be one of the best in the world. GSP didn't get a jacket because they didn't have the jackets at that time. I don't even know if they had testing. I don't know. Another thing I want to touch on before we get into the UFC 323 stuff. Tom Aspinall came out earlier this week of the closet. He came out as a gay man. I'm just kidding. I love you, Tom Aspinall. I'm not talking shit. I am a fan. I am a supporter. You know I love you, Tom Aspinall. You know I love you. But because of all the shit that's been happening over the past year and 2 years, whatever it's been, and the fact that you just had your eye poked, super disappointing. The fact that you just released your documentation from the doctor claiming that you cannot fight or even practice for God knows how long, and you might have to get surgery, is very concerning. Because we all know that he wants to get back in as soon as possible. Not only he wants to get back in, but the entire world wants Tom Aspinall to get back in. And because of this delay that he has with his doctor's note, and because of the fact that there is no projected time as to when he can actually come back, if he even can come back, it's very concerning. Because we could get to a point where Tom Aspinall now has to vacate the title, meaning that Jon Jones can step back in and reclaim the belt for himself without ever having to fight Tom Aspinall once again. And that'll be the biggest excuse to put him on the White House card against Alex Pereira. Could you imagine? Not only could I see this happening, I'm imagining that this is probably what is going to happen. And the odds of all this shit happening to a guy like Tom Aspinall, and the odds of a guy like Jon Jones still coming out on top every single time is just absolutely magnificent. And it just proves the statement that nice guys do finish last. It doesn't matter. Nice guys finish last, especially in the fight game. You're not allowed to be nice. And that is why Tom Aspinall is turning heel. He is claiming that he's no longer going to be a nice guy, not only to Jon Jones, not only to Danathan White, but to everyone that he's going to fight and come in his path. Now, like Ariel Helwani said, I don't think he has it in him. But we'll see. I mean, this is very infuriating. On top of everything that happened, this is very infuriating. Now, it's not confirmed yet that he has to vacate, but we don't know when he's going to come back. And the fact that he's not training right now also says a lot. Because he was a guy who trained nonstop, waiting for a fight for 1.5 years. He got the fight, and now he's out. But enough about Tom Aspinall. We need to talk about Merab Dvalishvili. Merab Dvalishvili. Or should I say Dvalishvili? Because they don't pronounce their V's. They pronounce their V's as W's. Let's get into our first segment of the day. Merab Dvalishvili, everybody. Merab is getting way too close to becoming one of the greatest fighters in UFC history. And the crazy part is, this is a guy who started his UFC career losing his first 2 fights ever. Nobody knew him. Nobody cared about him. He felt like the UFC didn't even want to give him a shot at the title for the longest time. But now he's accomplished things that nobody has ever done before. He's breaking records we all thought were unbreakable. The first big one, the takedown record. George St. Pierre held that record forever. 90 career takedowns was George St. Pierre's record. The next closest was Gleison Tibau. Is that how you say it? With 84. That record was frozen in time. People didn't even talk about it anymore because it was GSP. Who was going to beat GSP? And then Merab just came out of nowhere. He came out of the shadows, the dark, mystical shadows. He took the belt from Sean O'Malley in September of 2024 at UFC Noche inside the Sphere in Las Vegas. Absolute historical night for multiple reasons. First and only combat sports event ever inside the Sphere, and it was the beginning of the Merab era. But at that time, nobody treated it like the start of a dynasty. Merab wasn't even a household name. O'Malley was still the superstar that he once was, and most people honestly expected O'Malley to beat him again. And when Merab won, a lot of fans were mad that their superstar got dethroned. Then came Merab's first title defense, Umar Nurmagomedov. And again, everyone counted out Merab. This is it. This is where the division resets. He's fighting a Nurmagomedov, Khabib's cousin. How could Merab possibly win? But not only did he win, but he showed cardio we've never seen before in the UFC. I mean, we've seen it before with Merab when he fought Petr Yan and the other guys that he fought, but this night was different. This was the fight where he tied GSP's takedown record and then broke it later that same night. And he still holds that record right now. Merab will shoot takedowns non-stop. Whether they land or not, he goes for all of them. He doesn't get tired, not even a little bit. That's his superpower. That Umar fight was in January of this year. Then he rematched O'Malley in June and won again. Then he defended again in October of this year against Corey Sandhagen. And now we're here. One more fight this year. And it's his fourth consecutive title defense in one calendar year. And he's going up against Petr Yan. So that's another record. Win or lose, nobody in UFC history has ever defended a belt 4 times in 1 year. Merab will be the first. There's a reason his nickname is the Machine. He does not stop. And also, I should mention, he's on a 14-fight win streak, the 4th longest of all time, right under Usman, Makhachev, and Anderson Silva. And the way he wins is wild. It's a wild way to win. 76% of his wins come by decision. That's 16 of his 21 career wins. Normally, that would mean he's a boring fighter. But Merab is the opposite. Merab is chaos. Merab is pace. He breaks the stigma completely. In the UFC, 12 of his 16 fights were decision wins. He's only received 2 fight of the night bonuses and performance of the night bonuses. But every single fight is still exciting because nobody can keep up to his pace. He's the only decision-heavy fighter who is actually a must-watch. Because he's so crazy. He's a scrambling boy. He's all over the place. And it's as if he has an oxygen tank for a lung. So here's the big question. If he beats Petr Yan for the second time, who is left? Who is left from Merab after Petr Yan? Maybe Song Yadong if he gets past O'Malley. Maybe Ayman Zahabi. Maybe Vinicius Oliveira one day. But right now, I don't see anyone who can break Merab. The dream fight would be Pantoja moving up to bantamweight. But we already know he didn't want to move weight classes until recently when he did say he would, just not while Merab is champ. And that tells you everything. That tells you everything you need to know about Merab and how good this boy really is. Here's a clip here from TMZ, an interview with Pantoja, the cannibal himself.
About 10 pounds to my division, to flyweight to the bantamweight, is huge compared. If you see the Willie Zhang versus Valentina, you can see the difference about the size, Of course, when you have Islam Makhachev go to 155 to 170, that's, yes. You can see it's not too much difference, Of course, Islam need to lose a lot of weight to make 155, but 10 pounds for me is much more than the another guys, But Merab, one of the best, one of the pound for pound. I think if O'Malley got the belt, I'm going to say, hey, I'm ready to go. But with Merab, it's different.
With Merab, it's different. If O'Malley had the belt, Pantoja's right in there. But the fact that Merab has the belt, Pantoja doesn't want to go there. And I don't blame him. I really don't fucking blame him. So let me ask you, Chakalaguku, who do you think actually has the style to beat Merab Dvalishvili? And is there anyone at bantamweight right now who can handle that pace and possibly end his reign? You got to let me know. You do. You have no choice. So just fucking answer the question, would you? Merab is a funny dude. I gotta say, Merab's he's funny. He's good on the mic. He's okay. He's not good on the mic. He's just funny to listen to on the mic. And everything he does is just goofy and weird. This was him just recently. He's cutting weight, obviously, but his boys are all eating pizza, and he's sitting around the table with them, munching on cucumber, but he's got a funny technique. The big sigh. He's torturing himself, dude.
Enjoy. 이대 없다. So good, so good.
That's crazy, dude. That's fucked up. Just the biggest fucking sigh ever while he's munching that cuke. And by the way, I don't know what fight this was, and I don't even remember this happening. I think I remember it. UFC 311. Okay, so that was at the beginning of the year. I think, in January, when he was fighting Umar. Peyton Talbott was also on that card, and I guess Peyton Talbott was talking shit about Merab, and they crossed paths. I don't know why I'm showing this now, but it's just kind of they're on the same card again this weekend, so let's watch that.
Thank you, you too. But next time don't talk trash about me, okay? Yeah, you said I'm something dumb or something, remember?
Dumber than a box of rocks.
So, yeah, it's okay.
Here's the ice.
No, don't worry. Merab Dvalishvili, you like dumbest motherfucker or something.
The rock thing, dumb as a rock.
Yeah,
my bad. It was because of I told the story after, but
yeah. They should cut. I'm like, why? You guys want to fight you shoot, or if you want to fight here, I'm here.
No, we do. I am sorry.
That's okay.
Ooh, how embarrassing for Peyton Talbott. How embarrassing. Look how embarrassed that guy is. How about don't talk shit? How about don't talk shit about the reigning, defending, undefeated Merab Dvalishvili? Huh? Don't call him dumb as a box of rocks. Although he does dive face first into an icy river and smashes his head open. I think that might have been what he was referring to, if I remember correctly. But I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure. I've never been 100% sure about anything in my entire life, guy.
I don't think that's actually Ian's son.
I gotta put my sound bites closer.
I need to sit my black ass down and do some more cardio.
Thank you, Derek Lewis. Okay, we're going to move on to the next segment of the day. I'm going to talk about Alexandre Pantoja and Joshua Van. Two beautiful young lads. One not so young, one very young, extremely young, surprisingly young. Alexandre Pantoja, another man on an absolute insane title defense streak. The smaller weight classes just keep getting better and better every single goddamn year. Flyweight and bantamweight. And if you're the kind of person who likes constant action, buzzing around like a wasp, trying to defend his honeycomb, these divisions are the ones to watch. The speed these guys possess is unreal. These creatures move like they're running on fast forward. And it's wild to think about, but flyweight used to be unwatchable to the casual fan. People didn't respect the division. They thought there wasn't enough power, not enough knockouts, not enough anything. People would literally shut off the TV if Demetrius Johnson was in the main event. And that's coming from Demetrius Johnson's current producer himself. But now people finally understand how technical, how chaotic, how exciting flyweight truly is. And honestly, what a perfect way to end the year, because we've got Pantoja at the helm. This will be his 5th consecutive title defense and his 2nd defense this year. That alone is incredible. But what makes this fight even more exciting is the matchup itself. Because Pantoja is facing Joshua Van, a ridiculously young flyweight who went from being ranked number 15 at the start of the year to the number 1 contender in just a matter of months. He's only been fighting in the UFC since June of 2023, and here he is, fighting for the title in December of 2025. That is one of the fastest rises we've ever seen in the division. And the kid loves to throw hands, dude. Not just flyweight volume, actual dangerous technical striking. After his fight with Brandon Royval in June, he earned a brand new UFC record for the most significant strikes landed per minute, 8.86. And that's not just a flyweight record. That's above anyone else in any division. For a 125-pounder to hold this stat, that's fucking insane. And here's another crazy one. Joshua Van will be the first fighter born in the 2000s, 2001 to be exact, to challenge for a UFC world title. He was this close to becoming the youngest champion ever, mind you, if he won. Just 1 year off from beating John Jones' record. This matchup is storylines on storylines on storylines, dude. Now, Josh said on Ariel Helwani's show on Monday that he doesn't have a game plan for Pantoja, okay? Before I talk about it, let's just watch the clip here of him exclaiming what he has to say, and then I'll give my take on the matter.
Don't get hit, you know what I mean? So I got to work on my defense and counters and things like that. So
when you game plan for this fight, when you're thinking about it, envisioning it, what are you feeling? How do you see it playing out on Saturday?
I don't have any game plan, to be honest. It's wherever the fight go, because you know, I mean, you can make game plans and things like that, but come fight day, it can be a whole different games, you know what I mean? So whatever he bring, I'll be ready. So if you want to strike, we strike. If you want to go to the ground, I'm ready for that one too.
But you've broken him down, right? Like you've studied the film?
For sure. Yes, for sure.
Okay. So when you say no game plan, there's not a specific way that you would like for this to go, or certain things that you want to capitalize on or exploit on his end?
Yeah, I don't want to focus on just one thing, you know what I mean? So I want to wherever the fight go, because the thing is, you know what we see on TV and what you know when we locked in the cage together is different, you know what I mean? So I'm the type of guys that like to adjust to their styles when I'm in the cage and things like that. So whatever I adjust to what he bring that day, that's how we're gonna go fight day.
What about the outcome? What are you feeling as far as the outcome is concerned?
Knock him out inside 3 rounds.
That's what you're feeling?
Yes, sir.
Oh, my dear. Have you...
Oh, my dear. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my God. Not that crazy. People online, as usual and as expected, twisted this instantly. They think Joshua Van is going to walk out there with no strategy, swinging like a madman, swinging for the fences, just going out there like a wild, mad motherfucker, like a hyena with leprosy. But that's not what he meant, okay? That's not what he meant. He is prepared in every aspect of what could possibly happen. And he's right, and I like that mindset. You know, of course he's going in there with a plan. Like he's prepared. He just doesn't have a specific game plan. Guys will go out there and be like, okay, I'm going to do this in this round so that this happens and this is the outcome. But you can't do that because you don't know what's going to happen. What if you go out there with that game plan and you get smashed in the face and your eyes all swollen and now you got to switch stances because your leg's been getting fucking chopped like a motherfucker? There's certain things that you can't account for, and that's what Joshua Van is saying. But people are, posting shit online like, Josh, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's too young and stupid. No. Of course he has a game plan. Of course he and his team are preparing like crazy. But what he's saying is real. You can't predict what's going to happen in a fight with Pantoja. So he's just preparing for everything. And you know what? Maybe he does actually have a game plan. And he's just really smart. And he's not going to reveal a single aspect of it on the most famous UFC journalist YouTube channel to have ever existed. So that Pantoja doesn't know what he's going to do. He's preparing for everything. He's not fixated on one specific method of beating him. He's staying open, which is a mature approach for someone so young. Gotta be completely honest. Now let's talk about Pantoja for a second here, because people don't realize how deep his stats go, okay? Alexandre Pantoja has the most wins in UFC flyweight history, 14. Most finishes in UFC flyweight history with 8. Most submissions in UFC flyweight history with 6. Oh my God, I dropped Dynamite. Where the fuck did he go? Why are you falling on the floor, guy? That's nice. Some fans have even started saying he might be on his way to matching Demetrius Johnson's legendary title defense run. But he's not quite there yet. And if you didn't know, Demetrius Johnson, a.k.a. Mighty Mouse, has 11 consecutive title defenses at flyweight. That's the most in the division, and that's the most in any weight class in UFC history. Nobody has ever surpassed that. And that is why Mighty Mouse could be deemed by some people as one of the greatest of all time, man. But Pantoja still has a bit of a ways to go. But he is building something special. This fight is massive. Both the main event and the co-main event are just bang-a-rangs. It's a great way to end the year, I gotta be completely honest. 2 divisions firing at full speed at the same moment. Well, not the same card, not the same moment. And if Joshua Van somehow pulls this off, if he goes out there and beats Pantoja, he might be a real contender for Fighter of the Year, right next to Merab. I think Merab has Fighter of the Year, but Joshua Van would be right up alongside him. But as much as I love Joshua Van, and trust me, I think he's phenomenal, I don't think he has what it takes to finish Pantoja yet. Maybe in the future. Maybe when he's more seasoned. But right now, Pantoja is just too durable. Too experienced, too complete. Just a guy who can cream any khaki you put in front of him. So let me ask you this fucking question. Do you think Joshua Van is ready for this moment, or is Pantoja still too far ahead of the division for anyone to catch up to his black ass? I know he's not black. God damn it, guys. What do you think? You think I'm that stupid? I know he's not black. But answer the question. Answer the goddamn question. Okay? Those are our both main segments of the day. Now we're just going to rifle through some stuff that I've been seeing in the news lately. Okay? But the first thing I want to talk about is this. Okay? Instagram, we all know Mark Zuckerberg owns Instagram now, which means Meta is a part of Instagram. And Meta's doing all kinds of crazy things. Meta's even teamed up with the UFC. Okay? The fighters are wearing Meta glasses and posting footage of their walkouts and training and all this shit. And it was announced earlier this year that Meta is soon to be in charge of choosing each weight class ranking list. But what Meta is also doing is it's translating different languaged videos to whatever language you speak. So I speak English. So if I'm watching a video in Spanish and the person is speaking Spanish, it will translate the person speaking from Spanish to English, but it'll still be in the person's voice. And it'll manipulate the lips to make it look like they're speaking English in their own accent. And I just discovered this yesterday when there was a video of Pantoja talking to an interviewer in his native tongue, and it was translated to English. And when I was watching it at first, I'm like, I know Pantoja speaks English, but he doesn't speak English this good. And it was confusing the fuck out of me. I didn't know what was going on. And then I saw this little thing up here. Let me zoom in. Meta and AI translation. So when I first got a glance at this video, I was like, the fuck? This is his voice, this is his accent, but there's no way he talks this good. So let's watch it together.
I want to be champion again. I want it a lot. I know how much I have to dedicate myself for that to happen. And I have been dedicating myself during these 2.5 years. It has been very good. I have found my evolution a lot, but there's a price too, right? I talk a lot about it. You're seeing my face a bit chiseled. There's what you're not seeing too, which is my body very sore from training and everything else. Yeah, of course, Coca-Cola Zero. But it's very good, weird. You know? It's very good to feel that I'm managing to reach a level I never imagined in my life. I always wanted to be the best in the world, right? It's funny how pound for pound always puts me behind, right? And that's something that gives me more desire, man. I want to be the best in the world. I'm going to chase that number one, you know? I don't want to be champion again.
Like, they translated his voice in his accent and made his lips move to make it look like he's talking. This is crazy. This blew my mind. I've never seen anything like this before, and I know AI is capable of it, but I just never experienced it. That was my first experience with it. So we're probably going to see a lot more of that, which actually I don't mind. I like that better than just simply reading subtitles. It's in his accent. The only problem is I don't think that was translated quite properly. Because in the middle of that sentence, he's like, Coca-Cola Zero, am I right? And he wasn't even really, that wasn't part of anything that he was talking about. Don't worry, we're going to get into my fight predictions here. I just have some more shit to talk about first. Because we have some news, we have some updates. The UFC, apparently, this Friday, and probably a lot more often, they're going to be holding a... Fuck off, Grok. They're going to be holding a 2026 seasonal press conference this Friday. The last time they did this was in December of 2023, featuring fighters from UFC 297, 298, and 299. But this fucking Friday, we are getting a 2026 seasonal pass press conference. I don't know why they're showing... Oh, that was the last time they did it, I guess, maybe. But they're doing it again. They're doing it again. So we're going to get multiple card fighters on one press conference. And I hope we get to see Sean Strickland again. Make it exciting. Because a lot of fucking fighters don't know how to make a press conference exciting anymore. And if Dana White's in charge of the press conference, you know it's done in 10 minutes or less. So, as exciting as this may seem, It might still be boring as fuck. The press conferences, a lot of aspects of the UFC are just going down the drain. But I'm just saying, I don't want to be negative. I don't want to be a negative Nancy. I don't want to be a negative Neanderthal. There's a UFC seasonal press conference this Friday. And I'd be assuming there's... Well, is that the only... Are they having a press conference for 323 alone? Or is it all just going to be clumped in with the seasonal? Probably just clumped in with the seasonal. I don't know, dude. I don't speak English. I'm Pantoja. I need my voice translated. Also, Charles Oliveira, there was a leak earlier this week, or maybe it was last week, that, you know, UFC Brazil had made a post saying that he was going to fight Max Holloway for the BMF title on UFC 324. Turns out that was false, but he did make a post himself, and he says, "Look, nothing's confirmed about my fight yet. I'm on vacation with my familia. This fight, Holloway versus Oliveira, definitely won't be in January, okay? I think this fight will be around March or April, so we're just waiting. So that's probably going to happen. Great fight. Can't wait to see it. Love me a BMF title fight. Love me a BMF belt. I don't care about the BMF. Charles and Max, fantastic. Let's see him do it again. We already talked about Tom Aspinall. He's got symptoms. He's going to be gone. He might have to vacate, yada, yada. Dude, I wanted Tom. We all wanted Tom so bad, and it just keeps fucking up and fucking up. We'll never get Tom again. Anyway, Sean Strickland, this is the final message before we get into my fight prediction. Sean Strickland is giving us an update. If you didn't know, he was on a suspension for... I don't know, it was like 6 months because he stepped into an octagon in another organization, Rough and Tough, or Tough Enough, whatever the fuck it was. Started punching a guy post-fight. They suspended him. Now he's coming back in 13 days. Don't know when he's going to fight. He doesn't know when he's going to fight. But he brought up some good points about Khamzat in this clip. And I agree 100% about what he says, but we'll talk about it after we watch this clip. Let me zoom in a little bit here because it's on InstaSlam.
Good news, you guys. My suspension's up in like 10 days. I'm so fucking stoked. I just need like 8 weeks, 10 weeks, I'm all fat. But did this suspension suck? Hell yes, it sucked. But would I do it again to hit that guy in the face? Yes, I would. You know, if a man tells you to do that, you got to fight him. There's no other way. You got to send it. Cop or not, you got to send him. So yeah, I'd hit that cop again. And yes, I did say no to the Australia card. In Australia, I fucking love you guys, man. You guys are all white trash. You're all like-minded, dude. I feel like we're one of the same. But I don't have medical insurance. So you want me to go get my first fight back in Australia and give half my check to you fuckers and buy your medical insurance? I ain't fucking doing it. I ain't doing it. If Fluffy don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. We ain't doing it. And I love you, Australia. I love the UFC, but I can't do it. Can't fucking do it. Anyways, that being said, I love the Fluffy fight. Let's get the shit booked in the States. I'm an American. I'm like one of the few real Americans that are fighting in the UFC, other than Bryce. So let's get this booked in the States. And you guys, like, a little insight on the middleweight division. The middleweight division's on fucking ice, dude. You got Chimaev, the little whore. Like, he has Ramadan, then he has a surgery, and then he's going to fight Nasruddin in a year and just dry hump Nasruddin, and then he's going to have to go back home and kiss the dictator, and, you know, maybe his ovaries are hurting. So, like, the middleweight division doesn't exist. I'd be better off trying to fight for a 205 belt than I would the middleweight belt. It don't exist anymore, man. This is what we got when we got that little whore in. So after he goes and fights and kisses the ring and says, "Oh, Daddy Cordero, can I fight again? Do you want me to go do jiu-jitsu with the kid?" They'll get set up. So middleweight division on ice. Anyways, man, thank you guys for riding with me. Monster 2. Let's go get some.
Yeah, okay. When you think about it, he's actually right. Okay? Not about the whore stuff. I mean, say what you will about... I don't care what your opinion is about Khamzat or whether or not he's a whore. But what I'm saying is, like, the middleweight division basically doesn't exist right now. And, yeah, that's truth. Because we got Ramadan. That means Khamzat's out February and March. He's got his surgery. Who knows how long that'll take? Okay. I guarantee if Khamzat fights in 2026, it'll only be once because he's very inactive. He used to be active, but he's no longer active. It'll be once in 2026, and then it'll probably won't be until 2027 again we see him fight whoever's next. And you know he's going to win against Imavov, and just like he said, he's just going to smother him like he does all his opponents. And I know I said that's not boring, and it's not. It is very dominant. But that's what we're going to get. Unless the UFC decides he has to vacate because he's taking too long. I don't know. That could happen. But yeah, the middleweight division is on ice. It doesn't exist right now. So we're just going to get a bunch of middleweight fights and no title defenses. If we're lucky, we'll get one in 2026. Now, before we move on to my fight predictions, just so you guys know, we have next week is, the fight week, so we'll have an episode there. But then the 17th, fuck, it's getting close, dude. Either the 17th or the week of Christmas. I still haven't decided yet. It might even be uploaded by the 19th. I don't know. Somewhere between the 17th and Christmas at some point. I don't know. We're going to have my end of the year special of the DynamiteGizmo podcast, which means there's going to be the Gizzies, which is my own personal award show that I'm creating, where I'm giving out unofficial awards to different fighters and events and things that I thought deserve something throughout the year. I'm going to be talking about all different aspects of how the year went. It's going to be like a year in review type of episode. Christmas themed, or holiday themed, and award show themed. It's going to be fun. It's going to be long. It's going to be drinking, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Which I talked about it last episode, so I don't got to get into dirty deep detail about it, but let's get into my fight predictions now. Okay? Let's get into my fuck me predictions, okay? So we're going to start at the early prelims, and we're going to go all the way to the main card, and I'm going to tell you every single fighter that I think is going to win. All right? Now, normally when I do these, I prepare in advance and figure out who I want for what. But I didn't this time because I was too busy with shit. Doesn't matter. So we got Naimov versus Santos. This is an easy brainer for me. Santos has been killing it lately. The guy is undefeated. He goes in there. He creams everybody in a matter of minutes. And nobody can stop him. And if anybody's going to stop him, it's not this guy. So we're going to move on to the second fight. We've got Abdul Malik versus Trocoli. I don't know either of these guys. But when you look at the betting odds, this guy is negative 1,200 and this guy's plus 700. That is a massive gap. Okay, this guy's undefeated. This guy's got 5 losses, 12 wins. I haven't looked at these guys' records at all. I don't know what kind of win streak they're on or nothing. Normally I look into this stuff, but I haven't for this episode. But that's okay. We can go by the scuff of our pants here. So based off of what I'm seeing with the odds and their fight record, I think I'm just going to go for this Abdul Malik fella. All right, moving on. We've got Baranowski versus Aslan. Now, we've seen the last Ottoman a lot. I'm pretty sure I've seen Rudy a few times. He's undefeated. I'm assuming this is his UFC debut based off of his picture. When they're usually pale and ugly like this, it's because they haven't had an official picture in the UFC yet. So who do I think here? I like the last Ottoman. God, I wish. You know what? I should pull up. I'm going to pull up in a separate window here. UFC 323. I want to see. I gotta look. I gotta have some fucking scope of entry here. I should have done this earlier. Okay, so Aslan's on a 2-fight losing streak. Who did he lose to? Nobody. And the other guy's undefeated. We know that. So the favor, you know, it shows. I don't just want to keep picking favorites. Do I think he has a better chance? I don't know, dude. We're going off the scuff of my arse here. He might. He has experience in the UFC. This other guy, it's his debut. Rudy. This Rudy fella. It's his debut. Well, he won on Contender Series. When did he win? Yep, that was in September. I'm not sure if I remember. I watched all the Contender Series. It's hard to remember. He's got a pretty great record. Not many losses. He's had a few titles in other divisions. It doesn't really matter. Man, I don't know. I could see the last Ottoman sweeping in and getting a win here. I might go for him. Fuck it. Okay, then we got the Tarantula versus Barboza. Okay? I've been liking what I've seen with the Tarantula lately, Jalen Turner. Barboza is getting up there in age, I believe. How old is that motherfucker? 39. And, you know, he's on a 2-fight losing streak to Lerone Murphy and Drakkar Klose. Yeah, he's had a lot of losses in his career. He's been in the UFC since fucking 2010. I think the Tarantula, I think he can fucking poison this guy easily. This next matchup is kind of tough. Because we saw, didn't we see Vettori? Did Vettori win his last fight, if I remember correctly? He did, right? It was against, what was it, Brendan Allen? Let me see here. It was. Oh, and he lost. That's right, he lost to Brendan Allen. Yeah, because Brendan Allen got that shot against RDR. That's right. And he lost to Roman Dolidze. He lost to Jared Cannonier. So he's on a 3-fight losing streak in the UFC. In between that, though, he had a win in a grappling match. But he did have a win over Roman Dolidze prior to Jared Cannonier. But then the Hulk. You know what, dude? Why are we not going for the Hulk? Why is the Hulk not the favorite in this? Because what do we got here? The Hulk's younger. Well, no. Martin Vettori's younger. Huh. Well, shit, dude. I don't know. I might actually go for the Hulk on this one. I really do. I think it might be a safe bet. I could see Vettori coming back. He was talking in interviews how he needs to win this fight, so he's obviously got the motivation to do it, but who knows? Now we got Sadi Kayahav versus Zaim. I definitely know Zaheem. I just can't remember what I know him from. Obviously the UFC, but when did I see him last? Sadikaya fought in June. He's undefeated. Undefeated in the UFC. 4-0. He had one draw. Zaheem is also undefeated. Well, no, he's not. Never mind. He's got 2 losses, but he's on a 5 fight win streak. So this is a tough matchup. Yada. I think I'll go for Zaheem. I don't know why. I just will. Barber versus Silva. Now, was Barber the one who passed out when she fought, or was supposed to fight Aaron Blanchfield? Yes. So, you know, that doesn't really say much. Like, if it wasn't for Alexa Grasso and Roxine Madaferi, she'd be undefeated in the UFC. She has a win over Amanda Ribas and whatever. She was going to fight Rose Namajunas, but she withdrew then, and then she was supposed to fight Erin Blanchfield earlier this year. But as you remember, she had a seizure or some shit. So that's twice in a row, back-to-back, she's had to back out. Karine Silva is on a one-fight win streak, but outside that, she was undefeated. Only one loss. Hard to say. She's 32. Barber, 27. Barber is the favorite here. I'm just thinking, like, Barber kind of has a disadvantage because I don't know. Is she medically going to be stable? I have no idea. I think I might go for Silva again. I don't know why, I just will. T-Rex versus Duncan. This is a tough one because I love both these guys. But it's hard to go against T-Rex. So I'm going to. But I love both these guys. Okay? Grant Dawson versus Torres. I'm going for Dawson. I don't give a fuck. Okay? Love Dawson. Main card. Who do we got? Blachowicz versus Guskov. This one's kind of tough, but I think I'm going to go for Blachowicz. You know I love Peyton Talbott. You know I love Henry Cejudo. I'm sorry. You know I love Peyton Talbott. And Henry Cejudo, he's been in the game for a bit. He's had 2 titles. You know, he's a Olympic champion, world wrestler. Said that weird, but you know what I'm saying. And because of his wrestling ability, you know, he's old. He's about to retire. He's claimed this is his last fight. And this is an opportunity for Peyton Talbott to get into the rankings. Not only get into the rankings, but get into the top 10. So, obviously, I would like for Peyton Talbott to win. We don't need Henry Cejudo to win. We need him to move on and get out of the UFC. We need these young and up-and-comer guys to do what they need to do. But the problem is the UFC is pushing Peyton Talbott too fast, too hard, too quickly. Too fast, too quickly. Said that twice. We saw what Peyton Talbott had to deal with up against Barcelos, and he didn't do so well. He did not do so well. So we know Henry Cejudo is going to come after him with the wrestling. But the thing is, it's almost guaranteed, of course it's guaranteed, that Peyton Talbott has been practicing his wrestling. Has he gotten to a point where he can, avoid what Henry Cejudo is going to do to him? I don't know, and I don't think so. Unfortunately. If Peyton Talbott won, I'd be very, very happy, my guy. But I just don't think he's going to, so I'm going to go for Cejudo. He might surprise us, but who knows. Moreno versus Terra. I am happy, thank you! You know I'm going for him. Okay? The guy's doing phenomenal. He's rising up. He's very happy, very grateful for every opportunity. Moreno's had his chance, but get out of here, baby. All right? Pantoja versus Van. You know I love Van. We already talked about this, but I got to go for Pantoja. Okay? Again, the thing is, though, I love Van. Would I be happy if Van won? Yeah, but I actually don't want him to win. I want Pantoja to keep the belt and keep defending that belt. I want to see more big records be broken. And I feel like if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Pantoja and it's going to be Merab. So why not let that continue to play out the way we want? And again, you know I'm going for Merab Could Peter win? Of course. The first time they fought, it was close. Is it going to happen again? I don't know. So I didn't even mention at the top of the show, if you want this fight prediction sheet to use for yourself, link is in the description or in the bio. Ouch. Wherever you're watching this, okay, whether it's on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, wherever, if you go to my channel, whichever one it is, there will be a link somewhere in there, in the bio somewhere, where it'll take you to a Google Drive, and you can download this. It will be available this Friday, okay? I wait till Friday to release them because anything can happen within now and then. Fights change, the order of fights change, guys miss weight and have to get cut, or something happens between now and then and guys can't fight, and it's always a fuck around. It's never usually the way it is now. Okay? So by Friday, it will be available. Just follow my social media. You'll see when I announce it. When I announce it, then it's available. It might even be available by Thursday. But if it's available by Thursday and some changes happen by Friday, I will make the changes and re-upload the new sheet. And I said all that in a mini little window. But anyway, I think that's all I really have to talk about, you fine feathered fuckers. We kind of went over everything, all the news. I guess some fights worth looking out for. Not every fight on the main card is going to be an absolute banger, but definitely co-main and main. You're going to want to see Cejudo and Talbott. McKinney and Duncan, that's probably going to be a banger. I would say Dawson and Torres, but Dawson's probably going to do a lot of grappling, so if you're not into that, that might be boring. Barboza and Turner, Vittori, Fiera. But again, who knows? I don't know some of these guys on this card. They might come out and surprise us. We'll see. But those are my picks. You make your own picks. That's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, why don't you go ahead and hit subscribe? Just hit it. It's fine. It's free. Just do it. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, do all that stuff. It's very nice, and I would highly appreciate it. You don't have to, but my goal is to get 500 by the end of the year. Probably won't happen, but we can try. Bye!